Once again, very warm welcome in Semantics for my lecture. In this video, we'll learn about semantic roles. This topic comes under semantics. That is one of the level of language in which we study the denotative meanings or dictionary meanings of language, word, phrases, and we have different kind of semantics, that is lexical semantics or phrasal semantics or sentential semantics. So this topic comes under semantics, semantic roles. When we study meanings of words, so the words are not simply the container of meaning, rather different words are lexemes, that is the basic unit of meaning. Different lexemes are different words perform different roles in different sentences. So we can define semantic roles as it is the underlying relationship that a participant has with the main verb in clause or sentence. Different words which are present in a sentence, those words have different kind of relationship, and on the basis of relation, sometimes words perform the action, sometimes words receive the action, and sometimes there are certain words which helps the main verb to perform that action. So these are different kind of relationship with respect to the main verb, and we call this underlying relationship that a participant here will be different words, maybe different phrases, right, has with the main verb in the sentence or clause. Here is another definition that the roles, semantic roles mean the roles that participants play in event or situation. Event or situation will be discussed by the sentence. So the very first role is agent. As the word suggests its meaning, agent, the entity, that may be a single word, right, that may be a person, that may be animate or sometime inanimate, right, that intentionally carries out the action of the verb. As in traditional grammar, we define subject, doer of an action. The same is here, the entity that intentionally performs the action, that is called as agent. For example, the boy, this is the boy kicked the ball. So here the boy, this one, boy is performing an action, so this will be labeled as agent. And the next role is theme, and sometimes it is also called as patient. As in traditional grammar, we define object as the receiver of an action. The same is here, the entity that is directly receives the action or the entity that is affected by the action. For example, the boy kicked the ball. Now this kick is a verb, right, as we define that this is the underlying relationship that a participant has with main verb. The main verb is kicked, and the relationship of the boy with respect to kick is agent, and the action is being received by the ball. So the entity that receives action directly, that is labeled as theme. So it will be labeled as theme, and this is also called as patient. Another role is instrument. Instrument, the entity by which the action of the verb is carried out, right? Sometimes action is performed by taking help of another entity. For example, here is the boy cut the rope with an old scissor. So the cutting, this is cutting of the rope, cut, this is an action, and this action is being performed by the help of another object, another thing, that is an old razor, right? He cut the cake with a knife. So cutting of cake is an action, and it is being performed with the help of knife. Here the sentence is the boy cut the rope with an old scissor. So an old scissor will be labeled as instrument. This is, as we have already discussed, agent, that's the doer of an action. But subject is not always the doer of an action. Sometimes we have entity that may be human being, non-human being, that feels something, right? That has a cognitive kind of experience. For example, here is the definition, the entity that undergoes an emotion that is related to the cognition, emotion, and state of being. presence or absence of something, or a perception, right? He perceives the. We may have these kind of verbs like he feels sad. Now Aslam feels sad. Aslam is not performing any action, rather this is cognition, right? And hears. It is again regarding cognition of something, and he enjoys and he knows about something, or she smells flower. So these are all different examples of experiencer in which the subject does not perform any action, rather subject undergoes an emotion or state of being or perceives something, perception. For example, he feels sad, she hears noise. So here the word, this he and she is not performing action, rather these two subjects, he and she, are experiencing. That is why we call that these two have the role of experiencer. Next we have benefactive or benefactor, the entity for whom an action is performed, right? The entity which gets benefit. For example, he opened the door for his son. He fetched water for his teacher. So opening the door, this is an action and it is being performed for whom? Son. So his son here is a benefactor, benefactive. It may be written in this way, B-E-N, and sometimes only B-N can also be written to identify the role of benefactor. Next we have location, right? The location where the action of the verb takes place. For example, the child saw a sparrow on the wall. He is sitting in the room, right? Sitting, this is an action, and where this action is taken place, that's the room. In the same way, child saw a sparrow at which place? On the wall. So on the wall will be labeled as location or locative. Another semantic role is source, the location or entity from which something moves, from where the action originates, originator, right? For example, she borrowed from where? She borrowed the pen from where? From Ali. So the action originates from Ali. The location or entity from which something moves. So something that is the pen and it is moved from Ali. So here Ali will be considered as source. And goal, the location or entity in the direction of which something moves. Source is the originator, origin of the action, and this is the final destiny, right, where the action moves. The location or entity in the, for example, he moved from Lahore to Islamabad. So origin of the action is Lahore to Islamabad. Direction is, final destination is Islamabad. So Islamabad will be considered as goal and Lahore will be considered as source. Here is the example that she handed the pen. She handed the pen to whom? Back to Ali, right? Back to Ali. The final destiny is Ali. So here Ali will be considered as goal. These are all different semantic roles, and semantic roles can also be labeled as thematic roles, and sometimes we also call these roles as case roles. So semantic roles play very important role in understanding the sentence or understanding the meaning of language. So this is all about. If you have any query, you can ask in comment box. Stay connected with Semantics to learn more. Thank you so much.